Jakim accelerates halal cert process for SMEs. Madrid expects positive growth in Malaysian trade this year. Good evening, I'm Carlos and welcome to News on 2. The Department of Islamic Development, Jakim, has expedited the halal certification process through cooperation with the State Islamic Religious Councils. An international trade and industry minister, Dato Sri Mustafa Muhammad, who spoke in Parliament today, said the move has helped in resolving the delay in obtaining the certificate, which was faced by traders, especially small and medium enterprises, SMEs.
Dalam pada itu di bawah SME Corp umpamanya, agensi di bawah MITI, agensi ini mengeluarkan beberapa bantuan termasuklah grant untuk mempermudahkan syarikat-syarikat kecil industri mendapat sijil, membantu mereka di segi konsultansi, mengubah sesuai premis, kerana salah satu daripada masalah dihadapi ialah mereka memerlukan kewangan yang agak besar untuk memulihkan syarikat-syarikat kecil sederhana bagi mematuhi sijil halal.
However, he noted that due to financial constraints, some small companies fail to comply with the hygiene standards required for the halal certification. He added other than grants from SME corporations, Jakim had also implemented numerous courses and seminars to SMEs to help them obtain the halal certificate. Well, Malaysia is the top choice destination for international students to further their studies, especially those from the European Union. And Higher Education Minister Dato Sri Idris Juso said this was based on a recent study by the British Council, which was also further supported by the rankings received by Malaysian universities on the international level.
Kita lihat prestasi penarafan ataupun prestasi ranking dengan izin. Universiti Melaya telah meningkat dengan begitu pesat, yang mana pada tahun 2013 ianya di tangga 167, sekarang di tangga 114. Dan kita jangka Universiti Melaya akan dapat memecah menjadi 1% universiti terbaik di dunia dalam masa 1 tahun 2 tahun nanti. Fakulti Kejuruteraan Universiti Melaya pula penarafan ataupun rankingnya ialah peringkat 35 dalam dunia.
Dato Sri Idris added that to be enrolled into University Malaya's Engineering program via the Management Division of the Ministry of Higher Education, UPU, an applicant needs to have a CGPA of 3.6 and 3.7. However, those who do not meet the CGPA requirement may still apply via direct intake to International Engineering undergraduate programs. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC, early today arrested a general worker at the Pahang Land and Mines Office, or PTG, for allegedly leaking information to illegal bauxite mining operators. Now, MACC in a statement said that the 33-year-old suspect was arrested at 12:05 a.m. at the Commission's office while providing his statement to facilitate investigations into the matter. And the suspect was believed to have accepted bribe of between 250 ringgit and 500 ringgit between March and July this year from illegal bauxite miners in return for information on operations in Bukit Go. The suspects and the arrest brings the number of people detained by MACC for investigation into alleged illegal bauxite mining in Pahang. And the suspects were detained in special operations conducted by MACC following the discovery of ongoing illegal bauxite mining activities in Bukit Go and Bukit Sagu, here despite the imposition of a moratorium order by the government until December 31st. Well, 4 men were killed while another seriously injured when the car they were in skidded and hit an electric pole at Jalan Pasir Mas, Rantau Panjang near Simpang Batu Karang, Rantau Panjang, Kelantan. And according to Pasir Mas District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Ibrahim Saad, 3 of the dead were believed to be Myanmar nationals aged between 20 to 30, whose identities have yet to be ascertained. The other victim, who is also the driver of the vehicle, has been identified as Muhammad Khairul Anam Muhammad Sargawi, 26, from Rantau Panjang, while the injured was a Myanmar national named Krazen. And ACP Ibrahim does not rule out the possibility that the accident involved some kind of activities relating to human trafficking. Now, the bodies of the victims have been sent to the Pasir Mas Hospital's Forensic Department for post-mortem. The case is currently being investigated under Section 41, Subsection 1 of the Road Transport Act 1987. Well, coming up next, Pick and Go aims to lift Malaysia's taxi industry. Stay with us.
Enjin Blue Core Yamaha generasi baru unggul meningkatkan prestasi kuasa melalui teknologi analisis cecair dan pembakaran pada masa yang sama.
Seronok ke? Sungguh menyeronokkan. Yamaha Blue Core.
Well, Malaysia's External Trade Development Corporation, or MATRADE, is confident that the country's trade is likely to grow at a strong growth of between 10 and 20% in 2017. And according to its CEO, Dr. Muhammad Shahrin Zainuddin Madros, the growth would mainly be driven by sustained demand in electrical and electronics, palm oil and petroleum sectors. Dr. Muhammad Shahrin said the global economic outlook is now positive and some international economic bodies are projecting a recovery as global trade.
If you look at our main contributor to trade is really E&E, palm oil, and E&E has been very, very good with the launching of lots of new gadgets, new demand. And the traditional area has been US and China, which is the main consumer for E&E. So as long as those two nations are growing in terms of economy, we see a good trend. Similarly, I think on palm oil.
Speaking at a conference organized by MATRADE and the Branding Association of Malaysia, Dr. Muhammad Shahrin stated that the national trade value grew 22% to 859.1 billion ringgit during the first 6 months of 2017 compared to the 704 billion ringgit recorded in the same period last year. Well, meanwhile, strong domestic demand coupled with vigorous exports will spur Malaysia's quarter growth trajectory. And according to Affin Hwang Capital, the growth is set to be compounded by the influx of foreign tourists for the KL 2017 SEA Games and their spillover effect. Now, cumulative trade surplus amounted to 42.9 billion ringgit from January to June 2017, compared to 41.8 billion ringgit in the same period last year. The research house also predicts further trade surplus projections of up to 85 billion ringgit this year. And based on the gross domestic product, Affin Hwang also expects the expenditure component for goods and services to rise above 7% compared to 1.1% last year, whereas imports of goods and services is expected to rise to 9.1% compared to 1.1% last year. Well, the government is at the final stage of discussion with car makers in the country over the use of 10% blend of palm methylesters or B10 in biodiesel fuel for diesel-powered vehicles from B7. Now, with these new developments, the government has become more optimistic about its palm oil exports to the European Union, EU, as well as introducing the use of B10 nationwide. Plantation Industries and Commodities Minister Dr. Sri Masyu Kyong said the government is set to introduce B7 for manufacturing industries in Malaysia from B0 initially. However, there's no definite timing on when it will come into force.
2014, okay. December 2014 we went to B7. So we are actually contemplating the increase. But as I say that, we have engaged the industry, we engage the SME, we engage the car manufacturer, car distributors, and petrol station the last few months. So we have taken into account the concern about some of the implementation.
Dato Sri Mas said Malaysia has faced a setback with car makers reluctant to extend the warranty for the use of B10 due to safety and quality issue. He has stressed that the B10 is safe and stable and will not damage engine performance as it has undergone several testings under Malaysian Palm Oil Board. The Farmers, Breeders and Fishermen Day celebration held in Kulim, Kedah since August 3rd and ended yesterday has been a success after it recorded sales of more than 1 million ringgit. State Agriculture and Agro-Based Industry Exco Datuk Seraya Yaakob said more than 81,000 people visited the festival's breeding area, while more than 100,000 visitors thronged the main camp, which sold numerous agro-based products provided by various agencies under the ministry.
Hari Peladang ini bukan saja kita meraih ataupun untuk peladang, penternak dan nelayan saja meletakkan pameran jualan mereka, tetapi yang sepentingnya rakyat perlu merasai bahawa negeri ini adalah negeri pertanian, dan negeri pertanian tidak akan berjaya kalau seluruh rakyatnya tidak bersama dalam aspirasi untuk mencapai negeri pertanian yang berjaya.
An area of coral reefs whose natural habitat has been destroyed was restored through the Coral Restoration Program. And Pulau Rusukan Besar in the Federal Territory of Labuan was among the 6 locations across the country selected this year. Malaysian Marine Park Local Director Anwar Duraman said that the stagnation factors of the coral reef ecosystem degradation is not only due to soaring global temperatures but also to mankind's relentlessly damaging acts.
Lazimnya lah terumbu karang ini terancam disebabkan oleh aktiviti manusia lah, antropogenik, yang mana aktiviti memancing, aktiviti memukat, yang lebih aktiviti perikanan lah secara keseluruhannya telah mengganggu ekosistem terumbu karang.
He was met at the officiation of the Coral Reef Restoration Program entry into the Malaysian Book of Records as the largest simultaneous coral planting event in Pulau Rusukan Besar. 10 PVC frames and 600 coral nubbins were placed in the waters of the island. A constant monitoring will be done twice a month to see the growth of the coral reefs while simultaneously generating a natural environment. The Health Ministry will upgrade its services with the addition of 500 new ambulances at hospitals and clinics nationwide, costing some 400 million ringgit. Now, the new fleet of ambulances will be equipped with better facilities and security features. Speaking at the launching of the new specification ambulance and fleet delivery at Shah Alam Hospital, Health Minister Dato Sri Dr. S. Subramaniam said paramedics would be trained to reach into the community and attend to patients, hence ensuring efficient and comprehensive patient care.
Contohnya, kalau seorang ada serangan jantung, ada kemudahan pada hari ini di mana kita boleh membuat diagnosis sebenarnya ialah serangan jantung. Selain daripada pemeriksaan ECG, pemeriksaan darah pun boleh dibuat untuk memastikan bahawa ia sebenarnya ialah serangan jantung. Dan selain daripada itu, ada perhubungan yang boleh diwujudkan di antara ambulans dan pakar-pakar yang ada di hospital.
Dato Sri Dr. Subramaniam said the distribution of ambulances would be done in stages to address the issue of shortages faced at some medical facilities. He added the addition of new ambulances will meet with the needs of hospitals and clinics by at least 80%. The Traditional and Complementary Medicine Act 2016, which has been enforced since August 1st, 2016, will be implemented in stages, and this is according to Deputy Health Minister, says currently the enforced section involves the setting up of the Traditional and Complementary Medicine Council to identify areas of recognized practice and the prescribed practitioners.
Bidang amalan PTNK yang diiktiraf adalah termasuk perubatan tradisional Melayu, perubatan tradisional Cina, perubatan tradisional India, homeopati, chiropraktik, osteopati dan amalan perubatan Islam, pengobatan Islam.
Dato Sri Dr. Hilmi said that the ministry will next decide on the date to enforce the section that covers the registration of practitioners of the recognized practices. And now the latest e-hailing app, Pick and Go, will represent a new era for the taxi industry by prioritizing on the welfare of the taxi drivers in Malaysia, as Executive Director Valerie Chan said today. And Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Dato' Sri Nancy Shukri, who launched the app, said Pick and Go is more than just a taxi booking app. It is also a symbol of a commitment to better the customer service levels with a fleet of well-maintained, presentable taxis and well-groomed drivers.
Dato' Sri Nancy said she disagreed with the perception of the taxi industry seen as a sunset industry. Pick and Go Executive Director Valerie Chan said the app is targeting to register 10,000 licensed and trained professional taxi drivers across Greater Kuala Lumpur. It aims to provide taxi drivers with a support system that would not only improve their livelihood but also the quality of taxi services in the country. Users can download Pick and Go on both Android and iOS platforms for free.
Women, Family and Community Development Ministry, along with other ministries, have taken a few initiatives in encouraging senior citizens that are healthy and productive. And among the initiatives taken is to re-look into the Basin Plan of Action and the establishment of the Advisory Council and the electoral of this National Senior Citizen.
Its Deputy Minister, Dato' Azizah Muhammad Dun, said the initiative is pivotal as based on the projections by the Department of Statistics Malaysia, the nation is expected to achieve the status of an aging nation in the year 2030, with the number of senior citizens reaching 5.8 million people of the population.
Perancangan yang rapi dalam merancana peningkatan kualiti hidup warga emas, bukan sahaja daripada aspek kesihatan, sosial dan ekonomi, malah ia turut merangkumi semua aspek berkaitan warga emas.
Dato' Azizah said this in a Day One Rakyat today. Consequently, the effectiveness of the implementation of the National Policy and Action Plan for the Elderly depends on the commitment and support of various parties. At the same time, she urged lawmakers to report the Kasih hotline 15999 if there are any senior citizens found to be defenseless.
A committee to examine the effect or impact which may take place with the abolishment of the cabotage policy has been set up. And Deputy Transport Minister Dato' Abdul Aziz Kaprawi said with the exemption of the policy on June 1st, Sabah, Sarawak and Labuan are now no longer bound by the policies imposed on all cargo shipping services.
Dato' Abdul Aziz said the examinations will be carried out soon and the results will be tabled in 12 months.
Kementerian telah mewujudkan sebuah jawatan kuasa kerja yang terdiri daripada wakil-wakil daripada agensi Kerajaan Persekutuan dan Kerajaan Negeri Sabah dan Sarawak serta pihak-pihak yang berkepentingan untuk menilai kesan dan impak pengecualian dasar kabotaj di negeri Sabah, Sarawak dan wilayah Persekutuan Labuan. Hasil penemuan jawatan kuasa kerja berkenaan akan turut dijadikan sebagai asas untuk penilaian kepada hala tuju seterusnya pengecualian dasar kabotaj ini.
Dato' Abdul Aziz said this in his answer to a question by Sandakan representative Wong Tien Fat in Dewan Rakyat today. Though the exemption of the policy, a total of 1.2 million ringgit has been allocated for the construction of a port in Sepangar, Sabah, to accommodate the increase of cargo ships to the state. Prime Minister Dato' Sri Najib Tun Razak in May announced the exemption of the cabotage policy in Sabah, Sarawak and Labuan, which was enforced on June 1st. The decision was made following the grouses of many quarters which stated that the cabotage policy was the cause in the increase of the prices of goods.
Now, only the best to take to the field in quest for hockey goals at the SEA Games. National coach Stephen Van Huysen said the men's team, who are world number 14 and women's side world number 20, are ranked higher than any of the other Southeast Asian outfits and should have no trouble achieving their targets.
The men's field hockey has been held 18 times since it was introduced at the KL Games in 1971, and Malaysia have won it 17 times. He said only the best players will be chosen to ensure no slip-ups in the delivering the gold medal as promised.
So this is part of our program to make sure that kita punya squad rotation, that we have built up a base of players, because next year is very important for us. Next year there's the Commonwealth Games, the Asian Games and the World Cup. But DC Games, kita memang we focus and attention for now for the next 2 weeks is to try to win the gold medal.
The same can be said of the women's team, where Malaysia have only lost once in the final to Singapore in 1993. The hockey tournament in the SEA Games this month will be held between August 22nd to 29th.
National shuttlers Vivian Hu and Woon Ke Wei battle their way to win the New Zealand Open title at the North Shore Events Centre in Auckland on Sunday.
The top seed stayed on court for 1 hour and 38 minutes to beat the gutsy Ayako Sakuramoto, Yukiko Takahata of Japan 18-21, 21-16, 21-19 in the women's doubles final. This was the first Open title for Vivian and Ke Wei since winning the 2011 Indonesian Open Grand Prix gold in Jakarta. Vivian later said it felt good to taste success again in an Open tournament after so long, putting them on the right track for the Kuala Lumpur SEA Games.